Yeah, Bailey, let me take you back to the beginning of the week. How do you motivate a team that's won 29 games in a row? Well, head coach Kirby Smart, he told his players they had never beaten Bama in Atlanta. That was the motivation. So after 3 straight undefeated regular seasons and 2 straight national championship titles, the Dogs still can't say that they've beaten Alabama here in the A. So Nick Saban's now 3-0 against Kirby Smart in the SEC title game. He also improves to 17 straight wins in the city.
At the end of the day, they just got the best of us. It's football. It's any given Saturday, 2 of the best teams in the world, like not even just the nation, like the world. So, it's any given Sunday. They got the best of us today or tonight, and it's just time to get back to the drawing board and really get back to the work and get back to the level that we know we're capable of.
I can't say nothing because that's out of our hands. So if they make the decision to put us in, then we in. If they don't, then you feel me? I go from there.
But you certainly feel like you deserve to be in after the season you guys have had.
No, yeah, for sure.
And the Dogs beat 4 top 25 teams during the regular season. Unfortunately, tonight's loss will keep them out of the playoffs, in my opinion. So that dream to three-peat is just that, a dream. Bailey? Really quickly, Bailey, Alabama is definitely Georgia's kryptonite. I say that because since 2021, Georgia is 1-2 against Alabama. 40-0, a perfect 40-0 against every other team they've played. The offense wasn't as hot tonight as it has been all season. Some of that has to do with Alabama's defense. They've improved steadily throughout the season, but it also has to do with injuries, with Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers playing through a lot of pain tonight. Entering this game, the Dogs, they averaged 496 yards of total offense, but tonight they had 321.
All right, guys, after a tough loss to Alabama, there wasn't much hope for the Dogs to get into the final 4-team college football playoff. The committee confirmed that today when they revealed the top 4, Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Bama over the undefeated ACC champion Seminoles. Losing Heisman candidate quarterback Jordan Travis was one of the biggest reasons Florida State was left on the outside looking in. Instead, number 5 FSU will face the 6th-ranked Dogs in the Orange Bowl on December 30th in Miami Gardens. The Dogs are the first number 1 team to get bounced out of the playoffs during championship week. It's a tough pill to swallow after so many wins. The dream to three-peat disappears after a 3-point loss to the Tide. Georgia head coach Kirby Smart likes to keep things in perspective, and because of that, he says he'll have his players ready to roll in South Florida.
I always worry about when you get in bowl games of the matchups you get to have. So this matchup is really exciting.
If you ask me, there's nothing to hate about going down to Miami. Back to Florida State, a disappointing situation for the Noles. They beat Louisville in the ACC championship game with their 3rd-string quarterback. It was a tremendous team effort. They finished their season a perfect 13-0. Seminoles head coach Mike Norvell put out a statement saying he was disgusted and infuriated by the committee's decision to leave his team out of the CFP. He also expressed hurt for his players.
It was one of the tougher moments I've had to experience.
And that playoff goes to 12 teams next season. Well, guys, the race is tight at the NFC South, an important road game for the Falcons in New York to take on a solid Jets defense. They're another team that's had issues at quarterback, so this was an opportunity for the Falcons to get a win away from home. They also haven't won back-to-back games since the first 2 weeks of the season. First quarter we get started, the Falcons backed up to their own 1. Bijan Robinson gets dumped for the safety. Jets jump out to an early 2-0 lead. Both offenses shaky, but the Falcons come up with a big play here. Desmond Ridder to Michael Pruitt, 20-yard touchdown. Falcons take the 7-2 lead. Not much offense from there, but the defense shut the Jets down. Late 3rd quarter, Jesse Bates with an interception off Tim Boyle. More from the defense. Jets driving late with new quarterback Trevor Siemian. Richie Grant gets to him with the blitz, balls out. Andre Smith recovers. Falcons hold on for the 13-8 win. They're back at 500 with a 6-6 record. More bowl games in our area. Georgia State heads to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl for a matchup against Utah State, and Georgia Tech has UCF in the Gasparilla Bowl. Brent Key going up against Gus Malzahn. Gotta love it. Cutter. All right, Jen, with only bowl games and the CFP left, the transfer portal is getting hot. One of Georgia's quarterbacks is looking for a new home. I'll tell you who ahead in sports. This goes without saying, Carson Beck had a huge season in his first year as the starter at UGA. He's fourth in the country in passing with 3,738 yards. He's thrown 22 touchdown passes to 6 interceptions. Beck's undecided about his future. Will he stay another year or enter the NFL draft? But this could be an indication that Beck isn't leaving. Backup quarterback Brock Vandegrift entered the transfer portal today. Before the season started, the 2021 five-star recruit lost the QB battle to Beck. In mop-up duty, Vandegrift was 12 of 18 for 165 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Between Beck having such a big season and highly touted freshman Dylan Raiola on the way to Athens, it seems like a no-brainer for Vandegrift to find a new place he can play. Well, with football season dwindling down, it's time to turn our attention to basketball. First-year head coach Damon Stoudemire has his Georgia Tech team at 4-2 to start the 2023-2024 season. The Yellow Jackets tipped off their ACC schedule with a splash. They beat number 7 Duke over the weekend. It was a close one, 72-68. It was their second straight upset over a top 25 team with their win over Mississippi State prior to taking down the Blue Devils. The road doesn't get any easier from here for the Jackets. They'll make the bus ride out to Athens tomorrow night to see UGA. Tech seems to be in a good spot right now, but Coach Stoudemire isn't ready to celebrate quite yet.
I told him this all morning, told him this yesterday, but then I've been saying it again all morning. The only thing you do is you put a bullseye on your back, and now the expectation is a little more. So, early on, I'm pleased with our performance. I'm pleased with our effort, but we can't be content with where we're at right now.
Taking down 2 top 25 teams so early in his tenure there, off to a good start. And back to that transfer portal, guys. UGA D lineman Jonathan Jefferson entered with 2 years of eligibility. Georgia receiver Jackson Meeks, a 3-star prospect, also entered the portal. So many moves here, Jennifer. All right, guys, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about this matchup on the football field. Now we're talking about it on the basketball court. Georgia Tech in Athens tonight to take on Georgia. Both teams come into the game with a ton of momentum. Tech's won 2 in a row against top 25 teams. The Dogs have won 3 straight. UGA, a perfect 4-0 from Stegman Coliseum, entering the game. Tech winless on the road. DeLon Coleman drains the triple right here. Jackets down 42-20. Less than 10 minutes to play in the second half. Jabri Abdurrahim fights for the bucket and one. 58-36 Dogs. Abdurrahim, he had 12 on the night. RJ Melendez spins his way to the basket here. Dogs up by 20. Melendez led everyone in scoring with 16 points. Dogs on top 76-62. They win their 4th game in a row. Well, guys, this upcoming weekend, the Falcons will celebrate the 1998 team that made it to the Super Bowl. It's the 25th anniversary. The Falcons lost to the Broncos in Super Bowl 33, but they had such a memorable run, including a perfect record from the Georgia Dome that season. The 1998 team will be recognized between the first and second quarters of Sunday's game. The Falcons host the Bucks from the Bend starting at 1. The 98 squad was the first to advance to the Super Bowl in franchise history. They finished the regular season 14-2, quite the turnaround from a 7-9 record the season before. The Dirty Bird came to life in 1998. We talked to former Falcons defensive back Ray Buchanan about it today. He says, you know what, the guy who came up with the dance doesn't get enough credit for it.
O.J. Santiago was the one who invented it, who actually came up with it. Now, it did look like a broken crow when O.J. was doing it, but O.J. had it going, but he didn't score as much. So Jamal did get in the end zone, and Jamal ended up, rocking with it. Then he's turning with it, and next thing you know, the fans start getting along with it and doing it. And you had players having their own version of the. I had my own version, but it never did stick.
Rocking with it, leaning with it. I love it. All right, 11 UGA players were named to the All-SEC list today. Headlining the first team were Brock Bowers, no surprise there, Cedric Van Pran, Tate Ratledge, and Malachi Starks. The second team All-SEC selections including Carson Beck, Xavier Truss, Michael Williams, Nazir Stackhouse, Smile London, Kamari Lassiter, and Tyke Smith. We're right back.